I think I think another thing women do, and maybe it's self-protective or maybe it's just being unaware, is that we really look for what's wrong immediately when we meet someone. And I was guilty of this myself when I was dating, just trying to find what's wrong immediately. And if women go on dates and they start being more mindful, I know that's a big word, mindful, of how they're reacting to the person in front of them. So can I tell a little quick story about a way that I was sort of blocking my own success? And I think a lot of women do. I called, many years ago, I was standing on a corner in front of my bank on a Sunday morning. And I saw this man with a little baby boy on his shoulders, maybe like a 2-year-old. And he was spinning his son around and they were playing and he was kissing his daddy on the forehead. And I was thinking, his wife's probably at yoga or, sleeping in. What a great guy. And then I thought, every woman should have a guy like this. I mean, he's adorable. What a great husband. And then I did a little mental shift, and I don't know why it occurred to me, but I'm so glad that it did, because I thought, if I were on a date and sitting in a restaurant and this guy was coming in as my blind date, what would I think of him? What would my initial response be? And my reaction would have been, he's a little too short. It's kind of skinny, a little nerdy looking. He's not very well dressed. I'm not feeling it, right? So I call that putting on, well, have you ever heard of beer goggles? Like, you put on your beer goggles when you're drinking, everyone looks better, as the time goes by, everyone's cuter. Well, I call these dating goggles. I've coined this phrase, dating goggles, this term. So you put on your dating goggles, you put yourself in a dating state of mind, and you immediately start sizing people up in a negative way, which really is counterproductive to finding a great partner. That is one of the biggest blocks that I see happening. I stopped doing that, which changed my search for love, and it became a much more satisfying, dating became much more satisfying. But I think if women could take off their dating goggles and look for what's beautiful and look for what's special in each person and walk into every date deciding, I like him already, and make him feel that so he can relax. What I see is when people go on dates, you have two people who are sitting there waiting to see if the other person likes them. So nobody ever warms up. So walking in with a huge hug and saying something like, I've been so excited to meet you. And then sitting there, and instead of looking at his shirt or the fact that his teeth aren't straight enough or the fact that he's like an inch shorter than he said he was online, just be curious about who this person is and what's good in there. And I think that when you go into dating with that atmosphere, you're taking away a lot of blocks that you subconsciously had, and you're able to see people for who they are. And, first dates are a lot of pressure. Just because somebody makes a little mistake and forgets to offer you a glass of wine or open the door doesn't mean he wouldn't be a fabulous partner. Mm-hmm. I can go on all day about this. So you just ask the questions and I'll try not to ramble.
I'd love to support your story with my story with the guy I'm with now. At first, he reached out and he was, he wasn't creepy, which was great. And he was asking,
not creepy is always good.
Yeah, totally. And he was just totally, having a conversation for real, like connecting with me on like spiritual things, because I was posting about spiritual stuff on Facebook, and it was just a really good, non-creepy conversation. And then I thought, I'm going to be in town. Let me see if I should even meet up with him, right? So then I like check out his Facebook, and he's an artist, and then I see these paintings of like monsters, right? And I hate monsters. Nah, not gonna work.
Right, so you're creating this whole image that you're assuming all these things about him based on all this information. You don't even know him yet.
Right.
Yeah, which is what we all do. Women, we fill in the blanks.
Yeah. And I was like, he must be very dark, very whatever, the whole story. And so then it was like, nah. But what happened was, we were in the same group. I moved back. We were in the same group. So I would see him a lot. And then over the course of about a year, I noticed how consistently respectful he was.
Oh, I love that. That's it.
And that's when I was like,
yep.
Okay, I'm going to go grab you, Not literally, but
Well, I like the word consistent, because a lot of daters are flaky, and a lot of people who really aren't ready to be the partner that you would want are inconsistent. And I think the guy who's serious about finding love and the guy who's serious about you is going to be consistent. You're not going to have to worry about when he calls or when you're going to see him again, because he's going to make it happen because he's excited about you. And I think women, actually, we work too hard. We worry too much. We're too anxious. When the right guy comes along, you won't have to feel that way, because he'll make sure that he spends time with you, and he'll make sure that you know he cares about you. And it won't be this struggle to get enough love, to get enough attention and time, which, I've experienced in the past, and I think many women have experienced.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, when you start feeling like you're clutching.
You don't have to pull love to you.
That's
you
like.
always pull it to you. Let someone pull you to him. I like that.
Yes.